Let me tell you right now about one of the single rarest things in all of football. A proven, genuine all-pro, dual-threat running back with a real resume of superstar-level production actually showing up in serious trade speculation. And tonight, on the show, I have to tell you about exactly this kind of situation, because Alvin Kamara's name has increasingly come up in conversations about the New Orleans Saints backfield situation, and one team that makes a ton of sense as a landing spot is the Los Angeles Rams. So stay with me, Rams fans, because adding this kind of proven receiving weapon to complement Kyren Williams is exactly the kind of move that gives an already dangerous offense one more dimension for a championship run. Here's what's being reported, cutting right through the noise. According to sources, the Saints restructured Kamara's contract back in March. In the same 3-day window, they signed Travis Etienne, a move that both signals a shift toward Etienne as the lead back and makes Kamara significantly easier to trade from a cap perspective. Saints general manager Mickey Loomis did not deny interest in moving Kamara when directly asked about it earlier this offseason. With Kamara's workload trending down and his durability an ongoing question, this situation is genuinely fluid heading into training camp. Hey, what's up everyone? Before we dive into everything I have for you today, I need to share something real with you that would mean the absolute world to me. That subscribe button right there. Hitting it right now would bring me one step closer to my dream of reaching 1,000 subscribers. I know you're eager to get into all this content, but real quick, just smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It's such a simple thing. It takes literally 1 second, but it's honestly the biggest way you can support this journey and help me reach that milestone. Trust me, every single subscription gets me closer to that goal, and honestly, it would mean everything to me, so do me that quick favor right now and be part of this dream becoming reality. Alvin Kamara. Lined up in a Rams uniform. Read that line again, slowly, because if you truly understand just how rare a proven dual threat receiving back like this really is, and you understand exactly where this Rams team is right now in their all-in championship window, you understand precisely why this could be one of the most exciting moves the Rams could possibly make. And I'm here to walk you through exactly why a player this good might genuinely be available, because it's a fascinating situation developing in real time. Now, I already know exactly what some of you are going to bring up, that the Saints haven't officially shopped him around the league, and that the Rams already have a good back in Kyren Williams. And we are going to get to every single bit of it, I promise, because I always give you the honest version. But stay with me through this one, because the prize on the table, a proven change of pace weapon joining an already all-in offense, is exactly the kind of thing that gives a real contender one more genuine way to win in January. Let me start with why Alvin Kamara is even in this conversation, because it's a genuinely fascinating situation. The New Orleans Saints have made a genuine series of roster moves this offseason that point directly at a real change coming at the running back position. In March, within the span of just 3 short days, the team both restructured Alvin Kamara's contract and signed Travis Etienne, a clear, unmistakable signal about exactly where the franchise's priorities are heading. That restructure notably makes Kamara significantly easier to trade, since it lowers his cap charge and simplifies the accounting on any deal. Travis Etienne is now the higher paid back of the two, and with Kamara's workload genuinely trending down over recent seasons and his durability an ongoing question mark, all the visible signs point toward Etienne becoming the true featured back if both players are somehow still on the roster come week 1. Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, when directly and pointedly asked about it earlier this offseason, did not deny genuine interest in moving his own longtime star running back. That right there is the crack in the door, and it is genuinely open. And let me underline just how real this new era of player movement is, because it's the whole foundation here. Think about what we have already witnessed in this offseason alone. A 2-time Defensive Player of the Year was traded in a stunning blockbuster. A star All-Pro wide receiver was dealt to a new home. Across the league, the players everyone assumed were foundational, untouchable pieces have changed teams one after another. The old certainties are dead, and in Alvin Kamara's specific case, you have a franchise that has already restructured his deal to make him easier to move, a clear successor already signed and paid, and a general manager who publicly declined to shut the door on a trade. The door is open, the writing is on the wall, and the only question is which contender is bold enough to make the call. Quick pause for a second. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It only takes a second, but it really helps the channel grow and gets us closer to 1,000 subscribers. Your support means a lot. Now let's get right back to the video. So now let me tell you exactly who Alvin Kamara is, in case anyone needs the reminder, because this is the part that should get you right up and out of your seat. Alvin Kamara is one of the most electric, versatile running backs of his entire generation. He's a genuine 5-time Pro Bowler, a bona fide All-Pro, and the current holder of the NFL single-game touchdown record, a mark he set by scoring 6 separate touchdowns in a single game. He's a true, genuine dual-threat weapon, a back who can line up in the traditional backfield or split out wide as a legitimate receiver, the kind of matchup nightmare who has piled up both rushing yards and receiving yards at an elite level for nearly an entire decade. He's caught passes at nearly a wide receiver's clip for a player at the running back position. He's a genuinely dangerous weapon in open space, and he has fundamentally redefined what teams expect from the running back position in today's modern passing game. Acquiring a player like this isn't just adding a piece, it's adding a proven, all-time great offensive weapon with a resume very few backs in league history can match. And let me put his resume in proper context, because it tells you why this matters. 5 Pro Bowl selections, an All-Pro nod, the NFL single-game touchdown record, nearly a decade of being one of the most versatile offensive weapons at any position in the entire league. Players with this exact combination, proven receiving skills out of the backfield, genuine home run explosiveness, and a real resume of superstar level production are exactly the kind of players that immediately transform an entire offense the moment they arrive in the building. That's precisely why even the mere mention of his name on the trade market has already prompted multiple front offices around the league to call and check in. So now let's talk about why this fits the Rams so perfectly, because for a team in their exact position, it could be the ultimate complementary move. But first, let me make sure you really appreciate how rare a player like this actually is, because it's the whole point of the story. In today's NFL, the hardest thing in the entire world to find is a running back who is a genuine dual threat, a player who can consistently produce as both a runner and a receiver at an elite level, not just check the box on a couple of screen passes a game. Most running backs around the league are simply one thing or the other, not both. Alvin Kamara has genuinely been both at a Pro Bowl level for nearly an entire decade now, with a single-game touchdown record that puts him in the NFL record books forever. Think about how genuinely few backs anywhere in the entire history of the league combine that level of receiving polish with that level of explosiveness and touchdown production all at once. So the mere fact that his name is genuinely actively connected to real trade speculation right now is the entire reason this story matters so much. Here's the Rams' situation. This is a Rams team in full win now mode, completely all in for a real championship right now, with an MVP caliber quarterback in Matthew Stafford and a genuine feature back in Kyren Williams already handling early down duties effectively week after week. But every truly great championship offense benefits from a real change of pace weapon, a player who can spell the starter, create genuine mismatches in the passing game, and give the offensive coordinator a completely different look to work with on third down. Alvin Kamara is exactly that kind of proven weapon, one of the single most accomplished receiving backs in the entire history of the running back position. Just imagine for a second a Rams backfield with Kyren Williams handling the bulk of the early down work while Alvin Kamara comes in fresh on third downs, motioning out wide and creating exactly the kind of matchup problems that a linebacker or safety simply cannot handle one-on-one in coverage. That's not just adding another piece to the roster, that's adding a genuine championship caliber complement to an offense that's already built specifically to compete for a real Super Bowl right now. Let me also touch on the record-breaking pedigree here because it's genuinely relevant to a locker room that's already built around proven, championship-caliber talent. Kamara doesn't just have gaudy statistics, he holds an NFL record that will likely stand for a very long time, 6 touchdowns in a single game, a mark that puts him in a category with only a small handful of players in the entire history of the sport. Adding a player with that kind of signature accomplishment to a roster already featuring Stafford, Nakua, and Garrett would simply raise the collective championship pedigree in that locker room even further. Exactly the kind of veteran presence that thrives in pressure moments come January. So now let's talk about how this would actually work, because I have to be especially honest with the Rams here. Because of the March restructure, Alvin Kamara's contract is now significantly more movable than it was before that deal, which meaningfully lowers the acquisition cost for any genuinely interested team. New Orleans would likely want moderate, reasonable draft compensation in return, nothing close to what a true blockbuster level deal would require. And here's the specific advantage this presents for the Rams. Because this would be a genuine value trade rather than a blockbuster level deal, it wouldn't require the kind of premium draft capital they've already spent elsewhere earlier this offseason. This is a genuinely realistic, achievable trade to construct, no question about it, and exactly the kind of value add move a front office already completely all in on a championship should be sprinting toward without hesitation. And let me put the on-field impact into even sharper terms, because for a championship contender, this is everything. Playoff defenses tighten up in January, and having a change of pace weapon who forces a linebacker or safety to declare coverage before the snap creates exactly the kind of leverage that wins close games. Just imagine a Rams offense in the fourth quarter of a tight playoff game, Kyren Williams having worn down a defense for 3 quarters, then Kamara comes in fresh with the exact skill set to exploit a tired defense in the passing game. That's not a marginal upgrade. That's the kind of championship caliber depth that separates the teams that make deep playoff runs from the ones that fall short. And let me put this in the context of what the Rams are actually chasing, because it raises the stakes. This is a franchise that has already gone all in this offseason, trading for Myles Garrett and building a roster specifically designed to win a championship right now, not in 3 years. Passing on a chance to add a proven, complementary weapon at a genuine discount would be exactly the kind of missed opportunity a franchise this committed to winning now cannot afford to let slip by. But I told you I'd be honest, so let's take the doubts head on, because on this one, they are very real. The first and biggest objection is the durability question. Alvin Kamara's workload has genuinely been trending down over recent seasons, and his ability to hold up over a full 16-plus game season is a legitimate concern for any acquiring team to weigh carefully. That's a fair, genuinely real concern to have, and I won't pretend otherwise for a second. The honest counter is that in a genuinely complementary role behind Kyren Williams, rather than as a full-time workhorse carrying a heavier load, his body could potentially hold up significantly better than it did carrying a heavier Saints workload previously. The second objection is whether the Rams even need another back given Kyren Williams' own production. Fair enough. But real championship rosters are built on genuinely complementary pieces, not just one single feature back, and a proven third down weapon addresses a specific real need rather than simply adding a redundant player to the roster. The third objection is whether New Orleans would actually pull the trigger before the season even starts. Fair question. But a front office that has already restructured a contract specifically to make a trade easier, and a general manager who won't deny interest in moving him, is exactly the kind of situation that tends to resolve itself once the right offer arrives. So let me tell you where my head is at, and then I've got one final thought that I think is the real key to all of this. If the Rams pull this off, they add a proven championship caliber complement to an already dangerous offense, giving Matthew Stafford one more genuine weapon to attack a defense with on third down. Just picture it for a second. Kyren Williams grinding out the tough physical yards, Alvin Kamara coming in fresh and creating genuine matchup nightmares out of the backfield. A Rams offense that simply has no obvious weakness left for any defense to exploit. Whether it's realistic comes down to whether New Orleans actually pulls the trigger, and that's the real debate. But the ceiling of this move, a genuinely complete championship offense, is exciting. And for a team that has built its entire identity on aggressive win-now additions, that's exactly the kind of move worth exploring. And here's the thought I want to leave you with, the part almost nobody is connecting. The rarest opportunity in football is the chance to add a proven, accomplished veteran at a genuine discount because his current team has already signaled its future plans through actual roster moves, not just words. That's exactly the situation with Alvin Kamara right now. No franchise in football is more willing to make that exact kind of value-add win-now addition than the Rams. So let me boil it all the way down for you because I want this crystal clear. A Rams team already completely all in, with an MVP caliber Stafford, a productive feature back in Kyren Williams, and a real need for exactly the kind of change of pace weapon Alvin Kamara represents. A proven all-pro dual threat back whose own team has already restructured his deal and signed his replacement. The Saints haven't officially shopped him, I won't pretend otherwise, but every single signal, the restructure, the ATN signing, the GM's own words points toward a change coming.